The UC Exchange is a great place to buy your weapons.
Talk to me if you reckon you can hack it as a bounty hunter. Hey, darling. You look like the type who doesn't mind getting their hands dirty. The Trackers Alliance can always use more bounty hunters to round up and kill wanted criminals. If that feels like your speed, talk to me. Or check out our posts on the mission boards. So, you're fixing to take yourself on a little bounty hunt. Well, look no further than the Broken Spear. The Trackers Alliance posts jobs on the mission board over there. Big old console, can't miss it. Now, look, much as I'm itching to get back out there and take down wanted marks on my own, I can't help you any more than that. So, don't come crying to me if you can't hack it, you hear? Good. Here's the short of it. I'm only stationed here because I made a mistake. Killed the wrong bounty, and the right one got away. It's bugged me ever since. Now, I heard rumors that this no-good, dirty quarry's been lurking around Mars, but I ain't had the good fortune of him strolling on in here. I think he's smart enough to know better. I got a plan in place to find him, but I gotta prove to my other tracker contact that he's here. That's where you come in. Just gotta plant a sensor. No danger to you. Alright, so, you're gonna want to take this here sensor and put it way up at the tippy top of the old Mars launchpad tower where it's nice and unobstructed. You're gonna want to make sure you've got a boost pack to help get yourself up there, else it's gonna be a tough climb. Mars gravity's on the low side, but not that low. It'll track down my Mark's chip signal, assuming he shows, and I'll call in my partner to take care of him. Clear out and come back to me as soon as you're done so you don't spook the quarry. Get it? Got it? Good. You help me with this, and I see a bright future in the Trackers Alliance. Careful out there. Sometimes I wish I'd taken an easier job.
I know the Deimos employees here on Mars have been coming over there. But what they don't know is that I've saved this operation from being shut down.
How cool. I sure am glad you're helping me. Hi. Thanks for doing that for me. I wish I could do it myself, but having a friendly adult help me is almost as good. I know, right? Last time I did this, lots of people came over to tell me how much they loved it. I only hope these drawings stay up longer this time. Anyways, it's not much, but I got a little something for you as a thank you. Do you ever get songs stuck in your head? Sometimes, I think they'll really like them. I mean, come on, you've seen Space Frog. He's so cute! Maybe this time, people will like my drawings so much that no one will take them down. Maybe they'll be up forever, and ever, and ever. Oh my gosh, what if they're there forever, and people like him so much, they make him a real Space Frog cartoon? Or like, toys for kids to play with. Or both! Not really. I mean, there's Taye. He's a good friend. But he's also one of my only friends. There aren't many kids on Mars, cause my mom says that this is really only a place where people come to work hard jobs for a little while. But I wish there were more kids, cause it gets boring, like when Taye is busy and my mom and dad are off working. Bye-bye.
Every time I see those drawings of the little
My buddy Mitch keeps asking me if I can.
One serious puncture, and you're done. I lived on Mars for an entire year, and I'm convinced I'll never get used to the dusty air.
replace that sensor and my mark is as good as dead. Mission boards? Yeah, you'll find one here in the Broken Spear. They're usually in spaceport bars like that. Trackers Alliance posts bounty jobs on them, but you can find all sorts of freelance missions. Good way to make some creds. Hey, y'all better not be taking all the fun jobs yourself, you hear? I'm almost done with this assignment, so you better leave some for me. Oh, darling. We're the baddest bounty hunters in the settled systems. People pay us to find criminals, scum, and other lowlives when they don't want to or can't track them down themselves.
My brother works at
Ooh, should I tell ya? What the hell. It got me in trouble, but it's a good story. So, I got a bounty for this guy. Real tough spacer, you know? I find a ship, board without him knowing, and I literally catch him with his pants down, getting ready for the day or something, I don't know. Anyway, before he can react, I tackle him to the ground to cuff him, and he lets off a sly quip thinking he's got game, but I don't take kindly to that kind of advance, see? And well, bounty says alive or dead, so I make the call and I put him down. Anyway, turns out it wasn't the right guy, but this guy was also wanted. What are the odds, right? Well, the Alliance didn't think it was as funny as I did, so now I'm stuck here helping new recruits. Good. I'm already getting readings from it. Nothing yet, but when he shows, we'll get him. Here's your pay. Think of it as your cut of the bounty for your assistance. Glad you're back. Everything okay? So what happened? Who took it? Whoa, back up a second. You killed people? Oh, jeez. This is all my fault. I should have been more careful. Anyway, I'm super glad you found my ship and saved Eric. It's more than I could have hoped. I'm glad I asked you instead of relying on Sistef. I never would have seen the Berry Mule again if I did that. You've done me a real solid here. There's really nothing I can do to fully repay you for what you did. Here's what I can afford to pay you. And on top of that, I'll see what I can do to lower the price of anything you want to buy from me. Thanks again. Some might see junk, but I see an opportunity to turn. Well, you got the ship back, and I think I'm just gonna lay low for a bit, just in case. Oh, to be honest, I'm a little spooked by the ordeal. I don't have to start over from scratch, and that's great, so thank you again. As soon as we're ready, Eric will be back to making runs, and hopefully he'll have learned a thing or two. Maybe I'll even upgrade the Berry Mule with more defenses. Might not be a bad idea, you know? Just in case. Yep, that's me on the sign. Jane. I operate one of the few independent, non-franchised businesses in Sidonia. I've scrimped and saved for years to build up my little shop. Literally, when I started, it was barely a kiosk, and I was selling loose machine parts, scrap metal, bottled water, whatever I could get my hands on. And my hope one day is to keep expanding to other planets. I've already got a small logistics subsidiary in the works for shipping cargo. Good luck out there. My shop may not look special. Lack of options, I suppose. I was born on Mars. I never knew my mum. She left when I was little. My dad took good care of me, but he died when I was 14, so I had to fend for myself. Those years were the hardest. The shop began as a way to survive.
And it's been successful, so I've stayed with it.
A reduced noise ordinance is in effect every night from 2200 hours until 0500 hours the next.
Sure thing. Take a look. See you around.
Docking cycle complete.
Hello, Captain.
When humanity finally left the cradle of Earth behind, the United Colonies was born. Intrepid explorers and valiant colonists used Deimos starships to venture into space. When the UC defended itself from the Crimson Fleet,
I wish Deimos was exclusively a military contractor.
Deimos builds some of the toughest ships in the settled systems. That's probably... Why the UC Navy continues to contract with them to this day.
No other ship can what they can. It's not even
Ah, it's nice to see someone not in uniform. They can be so touchy, you know. Always eager to point out the slightest problem. Oh, please tell me you aren't secretly some high-ranking general, are you? Ah, should I bow or curtsy then? I assume you're here for a ship. Either that, or you are really, really lost. Mr. Henderson handles sales, but if you want to know anything about our ships, I'm your gal. If you have your own ship, we're always looking for bulk resources. The Star Yards have negotiated a set price with the Trade Authority, twice the market rate. As a first-time contractor, I am required by law to let you know that every Star Yard offers the same terms. But obviously, you should deal with us. Depending on your cargo hold size, you may need to make several trips to fulfill the order. So what we need is chlorine. We need a medium shipment, 2,000 units of it. I'll come back later then. What we need is always changing. The UC Navy. I repaired just about every class of vessel there is. I even repaired Henderson's longsword once or twice. I swear that man has a guardian angel with him full time. Or 3. Deimos hired me because I know every rivet and microchip on these ships. So if Henderson gets stumped on something, it's showtime. I mean, they're very good, obviously. But these days, everyone's using the same core tech, right? Oh, shit. Do you know you can be lectured on being too honest? Right. What makes Deimos special, though, is the package. We've been building ships forever, and the way we put it all together, well, it's really good. In a, I'm gonna murder my enemies sort of way. Hmm? Oh, yeah? Well, I take that as a compliment. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It can be pretty hard working with these no-nonsense military types. Oops. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say things like that, at least not so loudly. I've already been written up twice this week. I can only take so many lectures. Man, I could really use a drink. Well, we don't have much of it at all. We have to keep up appearances. What I could really use is Jake's Stout, from Jake's Bar in New Atlantis, of course. Or the Well, to be more specific. I used to love that place when I lived there. I mean, Jake isn't friendly, but he can make a pretty good drink. Say, you're the traveling type, right? Would you mind grabbing me one of Jake's Stouts? Awesome! Thank you so much. I eagerly await your return. Oh, yeah. Bye.
You should be honored to step foot in here.
What do we have here? A civilian in my Star Yard. Deimos prides itself on being the UC's first and last line of defense in space. But we're more than happy to protect and arm bold entrepreneurs that do their business among the stars. History was forged in our Star Yard, time and time again. So, let's see about getting you a proper ship, one worthy of you. Yes, they are. I flew my longsword in 43 combat missions. It never once failed me. That's what you get with Deimos. Our ships have been battle-tested for decades longer than anyone else. I've had a long and successful military career. Deimos starships have played a major part in it. In fact, I'm sure that if I flew any lesser starship, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now talking to you. That's what Deimos affords you. The confidence to go soaring into the fire, the death, and know that you will make it out alive. Suppose I do in a way. The excitement of barreling towards the enemy in a Deimos is a feeling that can't be replicated. Excellent. When you get serious about your spacecraft, come back to Deimos.
That feeling of sitting in the cockpit of a long sword, there's nothing like it.
These are hallowed.
This is the heart of the UC.
Captain. It is.
Advised, you are entering United Colony space. Please maintain course and prepare to be scanned. All right, we're done. You're clear to land.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep... Security, get back here now! New Atlanta Security, stop! UC Security, you're under arrest. I've got special orders. You're coming with me. Prepare for immediate transport to our vessel. I've been authorized to inform you that you're being transferred to the UC Vigilance. You'll find out more when you get there. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to divulge any additional information. Smart decision. Stand by to be transferred.
I'm telling you, the commander's got plans for this loser. Why else would he be going through all this trouble? I still don't understand why he trusts a criminal. Seems like too much of a risk. Stop worrying and keep an eye on our guest. I'll be right back. You just sit tight. The commander wants to have a little chat. The prisoner's ready, sir. I hope you're comfortable. We have a lot to discuss. Not this time. So, let me see what we're working with here. It appears that you have a background in cyber running.
Perfect. Information gathering is one of our top priorities around here. I also see that you mined on Vectera, and now you're with Constellation. You've certainly been quite busy. Oh, and look at that. Right at the bottom of this list is the criminal incident that landed you in my crosshairs. Huh. You're absolutely right. Well, I'll have my people get right on that. Now that we have that out of the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Commander Kibwe Ikande, and I'm in charge of this operation for UC SysDev. Are you familiar with what we do? Actually, that's something new we're trying. I figured we needed to branch out a bit, broaden our horizons. UC SysDev is a division of the UC Navy. While they handle the big picture stuff, we deal with a very particular problem. The Crimson Fleet. That convict is where you enter the picture. Are we really playing this game? The pirates, like the ones you tangled with on Vectera? Please stop pretending you have no idea what I'm talking about. On the books, they maintain combat-ready spaceborne forces to deter aggression and ensure the safety of the United Colonies. What all that fancy claptrap means is that they're the ones who fight in the wars to keep our territories secure. Smart decision. We've been prodding at the Crimson Fleet for years, trying to take them down one ship at a time. But we barely scratched the surface. If we can get someone on the inside, we have a shot at finding a loose thread we can pull to bring it all down. That's where you and I differ. As a citizen of the United Colonies, I accept my responsibilities. You, on the other hand, clearly couldn't give a damn. Look, I'm going to make this simple. Agree to work for UC SysDev, and together we take down the Crimson Fleet. Refuse, and I tell these guys to throw you into the nearest lockup. Might even tack on an extra few hundred credits to your fine. I'm not coercing you into doing anything. I'm simply giving you a chance to redeem yourself. So, what do you say? You going to work with me, or should I find someone else? You aren't leaving until I have an answer. If I didn't think you had a chance, I would have left you in lockup. You're just going to have to follow your instincts and trust me. Smart choice. I'm going to have one of my men escort you to the operations center. I strongly suggest that you don't give him any trouble. And don't bother trying to leave the ship. I think you'll find all access to the docking area is fully restricted.
All right, let's go. So, you took the op instead of serving the time. Can't be the commander's new role, huh?
Go on. I wouldn't leave the commander.
Pirates. You've got a lot of guts. Still, it makes you wonder, especially with the stories that go around. Like the one about how the fleet deals with informants by lashing them to the hull of a ship, and then slowly letting the air out of them. Could you imagine a world like that? I know I couldn't. But I wouldn't worry about it.
Ikande's on level 2. try not to touch anything until he actually clears you.
Yes?
All right. This is as far as I go. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Ikonde should be waiting for you.
Excuse me. Pardon? Yes. What?
Hey.
Ah, there you are. Excellent. Now that we've established your level of cooperation with us, I want to introduce you to your new home. This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance, SysDef's nerve center dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet. We are currently in the Sol system, in deep orbit around Phobos. As to why, I'll explain momentarily. Which is precisely why we're taking a more clandestine approach. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse. Good. I have just the right place for you to start. Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention. That's right. So it'll be your job to convince this person that you're the real deal. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know. If I didn't have confidence in your abilities, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down. I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDef, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control. To put it simply, you can't go into every situation with guns blazing. Think before you act. Calculate what you're doing and pull the trigger only when it's absolutely necessary. At the end of the day, your primary goal is taking down the Crimson Fleet. That's the greater good. That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck. For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will be aware that you're working for the United Colonies. Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to have to deal with the fines. That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for a debrief. Beyond that, you're completely on your own. All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant. I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got. While you're running with the Crimson Fleet, you're undoubtedly going to be faced with some morally gray decisions. It's going to be difficult for you to weigh the consequences of pulling the trigger while maintaining your cover. Do what you have to do, but remember why you're out there in the first place. That's why I expect you to constantly seek alternative means to overcome your obstacles, rather than blowing holes in them. Look, I can see that you're struggling with this. So let me simplify this for you. If there's a route to your goal which doesn't involve killing innocent people, I'm urging you to follow that path. Use your instincts. I'm certain you'll do the right thing. Dismissed.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. Hello.
Look. All right. We don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is that understood? Well, you better. Commander Akande's entire operation is resting on your shoulders. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig. For the sake of the settled systems, I hope you're right. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard. That's all we're asking. Oh, before you go, there's one more thing. Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts. Commander Akande came up with the idea. He was concerned you might not help us simply because it was the right thing to do. All right, we've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden, and with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. You're dismissed.
How's the training coming along?
Training? What training? I've mostly been learning on the job.
I'll be here if you have any more questions.
Well, out of the frying.
Pardon.
How?
With free.
You'll be scanned as you enter the city.
I really love this place.
I think I could live on coffee if I had to.
You ask me, the real New Atlantis is down here. All this stuff is legit. Promise. Look around. You tell me. You see it's a big organization. Lot of planets, lot of people, whole lot to keep track of. Sometimes they don't do such a good job of that. Sometimes stuff falls through the cracks, winds up collecting dust in some warehouse. But that's all right. Because I, and by extension you, get to benefit. I make great deals on stuff in bulk, you get some low prices. Everyone wins. A lot of people will tell you it's the worst. One step above being homeless. They'll whine about how folks topside have it so much better. Me? I like it. It's more real down here. Topside, everyone's trying to show how civilized and rich they are. Oh, it's exhausting. But, hey, to each their own. Hey, take it easy.
Better think about what you're taking.
Put that back.
You're making things harder for yourself. Hold it right there. You're under arrest. You're coming with us. We'll be taking any contraband and stolen... Ever run into spacers? Scumbags.
Contrary to what you might have heard, UC security personnel are good people. And Sergeant Yumi just happens to be an old friend.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. They fly around like You're under arrest. No sudden moves. Smart move. Now come along with us. We'll take any contraband and stolen property.
What's with the staring? You need something?
Sorry.
2 free pieces of advice. 1, you better have a weapon on you. 2, don't even think about drawing it, unless you're damn well prepared to use it. You buying? You better be buying. I don't do small talk. Yeah? All right. Well, bye. Excuse me. You buying? What's it gonna be? Yeah? All right. Down here? Like that's somehow different from other bars? Worse, maybe? That's what you're implying? Yeah? Well, don't. First of all, I didn't ask what you thought of it. Second, don't blow smoke up my ass. We both know it ain't nice. All right, then.
Show.
I'm sure whoever's in that ship will be thrilled.
Good day, Captain.
If you have any questions, Oh, yes, thank you so much! And just so you know, I definitely will not be drinking this on the job. Definitely not. Venus?
I wish to... was exclusively a military.
bunch of heat leeches,
Don't worry. We're gonna... Trust me. This is the best shot we've got at getting that request approved.
The who's and what's it's? Sorry, mate. I've got no idea what you're on about. Sounds made up if you ask me. But then again, maybe the other miners have been inventing some jargon I'm not familiar with. Best to ask around.
Okay, now we need to ensure you get hired. Basically, we'll need to make sure you're the only choice. To do that, you'll need to get access to the HR terminal in the corporate office upstairs on the main level. If you delete the other applications from the system, you'll be a shoo-in. That's the spirit! Believe me, this is gonna help everyone. By the way, the HR password is password spelled backwards, which Tia thinks is pretty clever. She gets talkative during happy hour, and loud. I'm surprised everyone doesn't know her password, honestly. Anyway, should be pretty easy. Good luck. Don't worry, we're gonna make sure you get that job.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Crime's at an all-time low around Sidonia.
Did you know Deimos makes the majority of the ships for the UC Navy? If you ask me, that's a hell of a lucrative contract.
I've got more than enough work to complete before I can go home. Go me. Another long day. There's always something. I haven't had a day off in 3 years. I wrote the damn time off policy. Don't have to ask me twice. Yes. Yeah. Let's go and try to beat the rush.
Many people think psychology is only good for treating... past emotional trauma. But it's a great way... While I may technically work in HR...
Stop right there. UC security. You're coming with...
The Lux condos aren't anything special, but...
I've warmed up
to... Trust me. Don't worry. We're gonna make sure you get that. And I can say that I've got some good news for you. I just saw the company message go out that you've been hired as Peter's assistant. Congratulations. Next step should be easy. Just go to work for Peter, and when you get access to his terminal messages, you'll see my request. All you've got to do is approve that request, and we'll be right on with it. Then, we can get that new equipment and show corporate how it's done.
Ever been to Aquila? No security uniform.
Most visitors can't wait to get on this one.
Someone ought to remove those dreadful little cartoon pictures on the walls around town. They clash with the metal wall aesthetic. Oh, you're finally back. I feel like you've been gone for ages. Do you know how tough this job is without an assistant? What happened to the old one? You know what, never mind. When they told me how poorly you did on your application questions, I had my doubts. But at least you showed up on time, so maybe there's hope. Well, enough chit-chat. Let's get to work. Not quite. I need you to do something much more important before you get to that. I'm expecting a personal shipment. I'm not sure why, but the last time this happened, my assistant ended up speaking to Governor Hurst about it. Now, run off and get it for me. Oh, you're done?
Stay away from the Sixth Circle unless you're a leader.
I tell you, Sidonia's a great place to open up. Well then, you've been quite busy making a name for yourself, haven't you? Heard of you. Of course, how could I not?
Interesting. It appears Governor Hurst is well aware of our exploits.
If by exploits, you mean what your friend is doing for Sidonia, and not your work for Constellation, Ms. Morgan, you're right on the money. So look, I admire a go-getter like yourself. You're not in trouble unless you make trouble, and I don't think you're the type. I know you're not really Mr. Brennan's assistant. I don't know exactly what you're up to, but I have little reason to suspect you're up to no good. So let's cut to brass tacks. What can I do for you? Oh, I know exactly what happened to that shipment. However, I suspect Mr. Brennan neglected to tell you that I'm holding it due to his immense backlog of unpaid taxes. Then again, he may be unaware. Look, I'll tell you what. I'll release that shipment for you. But I'm going to need a favor first, since you seem to be adept at keeping quiet. See, my personal spacecraft was stolen, likely by Crimson Fleet pirates. I need someone to find it. Then I need that someone to destroy it. Discreetly. I need tight lips on this. Then we have an agreement. I'll send you to the ship's last known location. Remember, not a word of this leaves this room.
Hope I'm not bothering you. See you.